3, 2, 1. Good morning. And how are we doing today, boys and girls? I have a little project to work on, so we're going to be doing some of that. Ooh. Why is the camera pointing so funny? That's better. Wish I could twist some of this around. Need to figure out how to get a bird's eye view over there again. I'm missing some of the components for some of the stuff I used to use. So let's get this together here. And the chat is live. So is there any way to really kind of go down like that? Yes, there is. Wonderful. So you guys can actually see the stupid that I do. It's not stupid, but it's definitely a thing that needs to get done. Before I start too far on this, let me get this shared around to the Book of Faces. Okay, so let's grab a little scrap. Let's see what we can do. Don't need that. Don't need most of these little tools here clogging up my space. I'm going to need these, but I need these aside. Just put them right here on the floor for now. Don't need these. Don't need this or this. But you know what would be nice? A little bit of fire. I believe my sister got this for me for Christmas. It's a nice little candle. Leather and brandy. By White Barn, it is. Supposed to smell like warm leather, amber woods, and aged brandy. And it does have a pretty nice smell to it. I'm not sure if it smells like all of that, but and I have a pen. Do I have a pencil? I do have a pencil. I like working in pencil just a little bit better. So let's grab the first one. clean edge. Start right here in the middle. And the flop. Now, to be honest, these are no means supposed to be like high quality knife sheaths. The purpose of these is more or less to be just good enough to keep the knife from cutting people. Because these are more or less just showpieces, to be honest. By the strictest of definitions, this is not a knife. Because it is not hardenable steel. Which means that even though I can put an edge on here, it's not going to last. Whereas any other sort of cutting implement is made of a much higher carbon content. Well, buddy, I'm doing my live stream. You can come down and take a look if you'd like. Now, I usually do 1/4 inch. For my seam allowance. What's up, buddy? That's a dime.
I thought that was a coin or a penny.
It is a coin.
I actually thought it was a penny.
Ah.
I thought it was a coin penny.
Well, a penny is made of copper, right?
Right. How? I'm spinning your blade around.
Is that a blade or is it a...
It's a needle.
It's a needle, yeah.
Yeah, duh. I'm spinning your needle around. I'm spinning your needle around.
Yes, you are.
Look at it. Look at it. Spinning around, huh? Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, where's the scissors? Dad, where's the scissors? Dad, where's the scissors?
What, to trim the thread?
Yeah, these ones.
Ah, Alan, good morning. How we doing today, brother? You gotta be quiet, buddy, if you want to be down here. You want to stay down here, right? Working on, I did another batch of those railroad knives. So I make several sheaths for them. So I figured I'd do that this morning. And how are you doing today?
How are you doing today, Binuma? Dad's never hear this guy before. Binuma.
Nope.
Binuma is a type of guide.
Connor, you can't bump me while I'm doing this. You gotta watch out. Coffee and a smoke. That's a good way to start the day.
Better see we got.
Did some work on the collar I'm making. Ooh, I would love to see how the progress is going. Please don't blow those out.
Dog.
Excuse me. Put this guy over there with that one so I don't get confused as to which one. Be careful. Cuidado, mijo. Good morning, Ken. How are we doing today, brother?
Good morning, Knife. How are we doing today, Knife?
So I did a little type of American Tanto style blade.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure if I like how it turned out. Just because of how nothing turned out as crisp as I liked. And the collar is going very slow, huh? Connor, you gotta be quiet if you want to stay down here with me, okay?
But I want to make something down. I'm having so much fun, dog.
I understand that, young woman. I'm telling you what the rules are, though. Okay? Connor. 3-day weekend, what can be bad? Connor, you can't be down here making random noises just because you want to hear yourself later on screen. Do you understand me? Kind of messed up that flop.
Pew pew.
Connor, what did I just tell you? Do you want to get in trouble this morning?
No. Pew.
Then why are you persisting?
When did the doctors gave me a lot of those spiky thing shots?
Well, you were due to get those vaccinations, so you did.
And I didn't want to get a lot of them.
Well, you got 3 of them, and then you don't have to do any more until you're 11. How old are you now?
I'm 4.
So how many years until you have to get anything else? Quite a long ways. Alan, making the center ring for it myself out of brass rod. Ooh. Brass ring with kitten ears. That sounds cool. Be careful, there's knives down there. Come on, off my leg. This is part of me working, buddy. You can go grab your tablet and bring it down here and sit underneath the table.
But I'm still gonna do what I was doing. I'm still gonna do that.
Why?
Yeah, after I put my tablet down, I'm still gonna do what I have to.
Why?
Because it's my favorite thing to do downstairs.
What's your favorite thing to do downstairs? Ah. You will get in trouble. It's funny how much of this I can actually just do with basically using nothing but scrap.
I'm a Papa Boogie.
That is almost ready for
I'm a
its
Papa Boogie.
fold.
Papa Boogie, Papa Boogie. I'm a Papa Boogie. Papa Boogie to the Papa Boogie.
Connor, Eastwood.
I'm hypering.
You're hypering.
Yeah, look at me. I'm hypering. See, look at me. Look at me. I'm hypering.
Oh, that's what they call it these days. Got the ring bent and the ears shaped, as well as now cut them and get them attached.
Not how I did this hyper.
Cool, buddy.
And I was right.
Where are you now?
Yeah, because I know how to hyper. And babies don't. Babies don't know how to hyper. And you have to teach the babies how to hyper. And you have to teach babies how to hyper. You have to teach babies how to hyper.
What are you doing now? Now I know this isn't exactly the way to make a real knife sheath, but it's for a $30 knife, so. Of course, there's a problem.
I want the basket to be downstairs so you can do laundry downstairs too.
Ah, see if that works a little bit better. Yep.
I would just make it I'm almost let go. I almost let go. And I almost let go of the basket. Let's slap down the stairs first.
Okay.
Dad, did you see the basket?
I did.
Going all crazy down
Let's see, I'm getting a lot of messages.
not going up. That it was not dangerous. Funny way.
Oh, Alan, I am sorry I missed your call on Messenger. Ah, that looks nice.
So Doc, here's your basket. This is your laundry space.
Oh, okay. Jill says hi. Hi, Jill. And how's little Bean? See, I'm always leery of working with brass rod. No matter how many times I anneal it, it seems like I never quite get it to where I need it to be. Does that make sense? You accidentally hit the call button. That's fine. Even when working with a brass sheet to do the, not quite bolsters, but the locking mechanism for the cane swords, I had a hell of a time getting those worked out, just because it was such an onerous undertaking. Use the map torch for shaping it. I did most of my shaping cold, and then I would throw it into the gas forge on a low setting till it would glow red, and then toss it in a bucket of water to anneal it. A few times, more than a few times, I ended up overheating the brass sheets, and when I annealed it, it was just junk afterwards. Okay. Let's see, started working it cold using a tubing bender for the ring, and then the torch till it just got just soft enough to tweak in shape. Didn't let it get to red. Maybe that's my mistake. To be honest, I've never really worked much with non-ferrous metals, other than crude shaping of them or stock removal, for the most part. So I don't have much experience at all with them, unfortunately. And at the end, that's kind of my fault, because I should be able to work with any type of material. And perhaps maybe in the near future here, I should be doing something a little bit more. Maybe I should do some more experimental stuff with brass, just to widen out my experience. Still debating on which leather to use. Well, if it's going to have direct skin contact, you should stay away from chrome tan if you can. Just because some people do have reactions to the tannins and stuff used for chrome tan. Some of the chemicals, because they don't actually use tannins. This one aside now. I've done brass needles, buckles, and veil pins. Ooh. I've mostly just done bolsters and like cross guards and stuff. That was steel. I was gonna say I did do a crown once, but that was steel and I painted it brass. Unfortunately, at a certain point, I do have a limit to my expertise. That was way off. But it's always better to have a little extra to trim. Yeah? Yeah. Like I said, I'm not really trying to make high quality sheaths. I'm trying to just make something quick and easy, because these are just $30 knives. Let's see. Three colors I am planning on using, and I have, and I'm planning on using one of them. You know, I still really do like that blue cyan type color that you have, but that brown color does look a little bit nicer. But I do like that like bone white color too. That could be real chic if you do some highlights or something with it. Well, any of them could really. But if you're using brass hardware, I would stick away from the white, and usually with brass, a darker color. So even that light chocolate brown would still look very classy with the brass. Black and brown are kid skin. Cream is deer leather. Well, I do have an affinity for goat leather. It always just feels a little bit, I don't know. It feels nicer, and it depends on how the deer skin was tanned. If it was veg tanned, or if, you know, it also depends on how they were tanned, like what type of tanning methods you have there. Because brain tan will always, always, always be superior to veg tan. It's as close to it kind of has the best of both worlds between chrome tan and veg tan, and all are super soft. Well, that's good. But brain tan and chrome tan usually will not harden with time and especially sweat, whereas veg tan will start to harden if it's not continuously conditioned, which can prove to be problematic. Widen this one out a bit. Scissors. 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 There. Let's see. And get to use my new tools to work on it. Got 2 leather working kits for Christmas. That's awesome. So, out of both kits, which tool is your favorite? because everyone always has a favorite new tool. You know, I really do like how some of these came out more than others. But the thing is, this batch was a test bed for a bunch of new grinding belts that I got, and I actually bought some name brand, surprising, belts from Combat Abrasives, 24 grit, 30, 32 grit, 40 and 60, and the amount of material and the speed at which they hogged off steel was both frightening and deeply impressive. And these really took things to a whole new level. I'm very excited. And let's see, I'm just glad to have a set of chisel tipped punches for doing sewing. Oh man, leather stitching chisels are amazing. What sizes did you get, or what size did you get? Because for like, I go back and forth between 3mm and, was it 10? I don't know where my punches are. Where are my punches? Because I will need those in just a moment. If I don't run out of time, I probably will. Because I have some things to do here. Here they are. Sorry, the 5mm and the 3mm. I really like the 3mm for doing a lot of the finer things I do. Like wallets and such, but by and large, I'm starting to use the 5mm a lot more extensively. Ooh, so you got a range here. And those, I'm not sure, but those look like 3mm. Which actually, for doing a collar, I think would be, yeah, I think for doing like a collar or something, that would be ideal. And you got some tooling stamps. It looks like you got a stitch groover and an edge beveler, a slicker, and some other things. A couple daubers, some scissors, some junk thread. And what is in that little plastic box? And what is in that little bag? Okay. Three done. Got that one almost done. I can lose everything in a heartbeat. That's my special skill. Needles and thimbles in the box, as well as the Allen keys and arm for the stitch grouper. Ooh, do not lose that Allen key. I'm actually thinking about getting a second stitch groover for that is variable, and fixing the one I have in place, and cutting the arm short. Just so I don't, just so that I have one that is steady. Because the one I have, I got this one, I believe, from Weaver, but it has a super long arm on the end. And while, for the most part, it's great, it's also a pain in the ass, because a lot of times I'll be going through and I'll have my one hand in the way, and my hand needs to be in the way, but this extra length on the arm, which can be useful just because it needs sometimes you do need that extra length, but I want 2 stitch groovers, so this one and another identical one where I can cut the arm off. So I can have a variable one and a fixed position one. Because sometimes I actually do want to cut the arm off, or just remove the arm entirely, and I have used it before to do decorative, on thicker veg tan, decorative stripe cutting, basically. I've laid some stuff out with a laser, and then I follow it with the stitch groover, and you can get some pretty stunning results with that, just by doing that in and of itself and no actual tooling. So you use I use the laser as the main outline, and then for all the detail work, and then I come back with the stitch groover to remove the main detail lines. And it works out very nice. The needles in the box are the round ones. So the good ones. Alan sent a photo. And you have a skiving knife. First thing I would do is strop the whole thing, start to finish. Where's my skiver? It's in here somewhere. It was a cheap one, but my God, once you put a real edge on it, you can't beat it. And to get those really long skives, I would sand the back end of the handle a lot flatter than it comes right out of the container. Almost flat with a ferrule, going straight back. But having a skiver like that is it's a borderline game changer. And I still do not have your video, Ken. This one is going to be a little bit tricksy. No, I want you to line up with you. It's a really nice set. Surprisingly, it came from Temu, or Temu, I guess they're calling it now. They changed it from Temu to Temu. My sister-in-law got me a set, and it was like the junkiest set you can get on Amazon. And I found and put it up there just because I thought it would be a good, beginner set to get. And surprisingly, a lot of the tools in there were decently high quality for the price. So a lot of the leatherworking stuff, you don't need the super high end. The only thing I want to get that is super high end. Well, I have my this guy here which is it's a hot press for either burning my maker's mark or setting hot heat transfer foil, which is actually a very nice little tool. That was really expensive, but I want to get a set of Cinnabrook's stitching chisels, but they are ridiculously expensive, and I cannot yet justify that kind of an expense. Here we go. Nope. Your text message came through, but your video still has not. Alright, let me set this last guy up, and we're almost out of time. Do I have enough scrap of the same type? I do not think I do. I do not. Here's my stitching, or my skiving knife. Took a little bit of work, but just going back and forth, and all I did was strop it with some. Yeah, bud.
Between this feet I have, between these toes I have a grape stuck between them.
What?
I have a grape stuck.
That is crazy. But this thing is amazing, and I think the only.
Look!
I can't see from here. Connor, you are so silly. The only other type of skiver I think I want to get is I think that's called a French chisel, and that is for moving a set width of material, and that would be good for like when you're doing bags out of thicker leather or something. So you take that French chisel and you run a skive groove basically down the whole thing. Now you can do the same, you can get the same results, and I've done it with a stitch groover, making a bunch of parallel cuts to allow that to bend. But the French chisel gives you a much more controlled removal. So that's why I want to get one eventually. That's kind of low on the list right now. But skivers are fantastic tools. And I don't have enough material to, scrap material, to finish. So that guy will sit till later. So let me finish up number 5 here. And I'll stitch these.
I got 2 breaks in these butts stuck in my toe.
You are silly, boy.
Yeah, wait till you see it.
And there we go. Is that the proper way to be playing with grapes, though?
Yeah.
You should be eating them and not sticking them between your toes. So please don't do it again, okay? Kids.
I won't do it again if you're not seeing it.
Anyway, so I got 5 out of the 6 done
I don't. No.
within this hour.
Do it again when you're not seeing that.
And I think they came out pretty good.
Do that again
Okay,
when
buddy.
you're not seeing it.
And let's see, Ken, if your last one came through here. And it has not. So, unfortunately, we won't be seeing that today in today's live stream. Oh, I never transitioned over. Everyone's been talking. Nice, look pretty good. Thanks. It's a pretty easy method. Just, you know, I give it more than a 1/4 inch, and I flop the knife over on its spine just to try and make sure I have enough width. I mean, they still need to be cleaned up a little bit, stitched together and dyed, but for a $30 knife, you can't really ask for too much. And they are just pretty pieces. You know, I got the couple skulls and a couple rams. The last thing I do have to say before we sign off here is I am having, I'm actually starting a job, a part-time job, starting Monday. They made me an offer that was rather decent. So Monday through Wednesday I will be working in an office again, and then Thursday, Friday, and occasionally on Saturdays I will be at the shop. So this does reduce my shop time significantly, but it allows me to focus on, at least he's not putting them up his nose, right? I think the grapes are too big. Raisins maybe. This will allow me to focus on doing a lot more experimental stuff and only accepting the commissions that I want to. So you should see in a month or so a lot cooler, more interesting and varied things coming out of me, as opposed to a lot of the same humdrum to keep the engine turning. And I'll be designing MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems, as a draftsman. So that's the hour and a little bit more. Thanks for joining in, guys. Thanks for showing up, Jill, even though you weren't commenting. Alan, I absolutely do love that. And Ken, I'm sorry I didn't get to see the video. It just never came through on my messenger. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And thank you for helping make this world better. One kerf at a time, and I'll see you all next week.